This very short assignment concerns narrative fictional film. Let's look at these directions together. This assignment does not require a works cited. You cannot have AI write this assignment for you. It's only 4 sentences, and it would be painfully obvious if anybody other than you wrote the content, and you don't want to anyway. This is fun. First, go to Google and type in the search box these words. What is the central conflict in a fictional narrative film? Read as many of those articles as you need to get an idea of the concept of central conflict. You'll want to make sure you know this because later on you'll be writing a story of your own which will have a central conflict. Now, find a short narrative to watch that's at least 30 minutes. This can be a pilot episode of a series. Remember that you would want to use the first episode of the first season of the pilot, or a short film or a feature film. Next, think about what the central conflict of this story is, now that you know what central conflict means. Find an image that shows the subject matter of the film without words or titles. This would be a concept image. I'll be demonstrating this in just a few minutes. Then return to this page, click the Begin Submission. Let me show you how to do that. When you click on the Submit here, you will click Start Assignment. Then you will see the text box below. Again, a demonstration follows shortly. Now, as always, add your name, information, course, date, word count to the upper left-hand corner. And below that is centered a clever title for your submission. Not my assignment for short film, but something clever. You're witty, come up with something clever. And under that title, you will add the image that you found that does not contain any words or any logos. Next, write 4 sentences in this exact order. First sentence explains your interest and the title of the narrative. Remember, punctuate the title correctly. This is a little video if you need it. 1 sentence that tells the reader what the story is about. 1 sentence that explains the central conflict of the story. And 1 sentence that explains how the story ends. Then you're going to proofread your content by reading it out loud. Then you'll proofread it again. Did you remember your word count? Make sure that's on there. And then click Submit the box, which is just under the text entry. Let me show you the one that I created, and we'll go over that together. First, I open the text box. I go over here to Format, to Fonts, to Times New Roman. Then I make sure that it's set to 12 point. Then I add my name, course, date, word count. Word count is always located right down here. Then I'm going to have my title. This isn't particularly clever, but it gives you an idea of something that's not saying what I did on my summer vacation, but it's a real title. And then I found an image, and let me show you how I found that image. This is the movie Running with Scissors. And so I want to find a picture that shows the problem. And the problem is this young man is trying to figure out how to be normal in a completely abnormal family. Let's go over and see how I found that image. Now remember, I do not want to use this image because this has words, titles, and so forth. I want a concept picture. I do not want this one. I don't want this one. I want one of these. Now, because this has so much to do with the mother and her son, I'm going to use this one. And all I do is simply copy the image, simply click paste, and there it is. I can make it just a little bit bigger if I want to, because I don't want something that's so tiny that I can't see it, but not so big that it takes up the entire page. Next, I'm ready to write my 4 sentences, but there's a problem here. Do you see the problem? That's right, it's single spaced and it needs to be double spaced. So I'm going to put my cursor here and enter. And put my cursor here and enter. Now it's double spaced. The 2016 cult classic Running with Scissors, and that's properly punctuated, is the story of Augustin Burroughs, whose life takes an unexpected turn when his crazy mother and father decide he should live with his therapist. The central conflict of the story is the coming of age of a normal young boy who has never known any kind of family that is not completely abnormal. In the end, Augustine faces impossible ultimatums, and this colon means that a list is going to follow of what the ultimatums are. A life with the crazy therapist or his mother. He chooses neither and moves to New York City to become a writer. I should put New York City because New York is a state. And that's it. That's it, you all. I'm going to double check this. I'm going to double read this. I'm going to make sure that I have the word count on there. Now it's 100. And then, as soon as I'm through with that, I'm going to click Submit. By clicking Submit Assignment, which I will find just below the text box. And that's all there is to it. Enjoy this.